bad way. It's allowed me to understand how learning limits and coping can benefit my overall well-being. I used to be what you would call a somewhat regular high school student. I was in many AP classes as possible and an athlete for 2 school teams. Outside of school, I would volunteer everywhere and fill my time by studying what I loved and possessed an intellectual vitality my parents thought impossible. I loved to travel and felt the desire to explore. You could say I wanted to swallow the world whole. Then one day, at cheerleading practice, there was an accident. I hit my head and immediately knew something wasn't right. I felt dizzy, nauseous, and suddenly everything went black. All the while, I was still conscious. I ignored it. At home, I would do a math problem from my homework or go grocery shopping. Then suddenly, with overwhelming pain and confusion, I wouldn't be able to do anything. For the next several months, I spent most of my time in bed. I went to countless doctors and they would tell me, "You'll get better, everyone gets stressed," but I knew that wasn't the case. I wasn't the normal case. My symptoms were unbearable, but I knew I couldn't explain them to the extent of how I felt. I had to be careful. If I said too little, I thought they wouldn't help me, and if I said too much, I thought they would think I was over-exaggerating, a hypochondriac. I ended up going to bed, going to class, then going to bed again. My life became a torturous cycle. I felt like my brain was misfiring. My peers thought I was fine, assuming that I left for a couple months or a year, and now I'm back, better. All of my problems, my daily struggles, were not obvious to the people surrounding me. I lost my friends, I lost part of my life. I felt like I had lost anything. I didn't let anyone reach me. I hid it well. There's a double standard in society where people with obvious illness and disabilities are automatically judged, while people with invisible illness or disabilities like me are often doubted. I think that I can speak on behalf of everyone with post-concussion syndrome and a brain injury and say that life is hard, but we're always pushing through. Every time I do something I love, I know I'm going to end up paying for it. When I crash, it could be unexpected. Like someone shut off the lights, like I'm in darkness, and everyone else has a flashlight they can see, but I don't. Slowly, the symptoms come back. I'd be sensitive to light, and the slightest noise would cause excruciating irritation. My headaches would become unbearable, and I would end up sleeping for days. I feel like the spoon theory puts these feelings into somewhat simple terms. So let's imagine you have 12 spoons a day. No more, no less. The spoons represent all of the energy you have. If you don't get a good night rest, that's 1 spoon taken away. Going to school, that's another 4. You need to choose the rest of your day wisely, since when your spoons are gone, they're gone. Sometimes you can borrow tomorrow's spoons, but just know that it will be extremely hard. I can't push it. I can't push past the limits I've put in place for myself, but I'm okay with that now. As the days, weeks, months, and now slowly years have passed, I became and felt more alone. So together, my mom and I researched and found thousands, possibly millions of people suffering from the same thing. They had nowhere to turn, no one to look to, except each other. This is where Beyond Concussion started. Along with Miriam, who guided us during these hard times, and a mother to a son with post-concussion syndrome, we created a place for people to talk, find information, and realize that they're not alone like I was. We aid people in overcoming their brain injuries and aim to provide patients, their families, and caregivers with resources encompassing all aspects of their journey to healing. We want to become a single point of contact for resources concerning these injuries. We connect the lives who have been touched by concussions. It's a beautiful thing to find someone like you who understands you and will be there for you when you need help. I have met so many new faces and connected with so many people going through the same thing through our organization, and it has impacted my life and my journey in so many ways that I never thought possible. I've now found therapies, treatments, and doctors that work for me. They make me feel better and heal faster. People with brain injuries carry on despite these hardships and trauma. We all persevere with a strength I never knew possible. I know nothing lasts forever, and I know it will pass. I just always thought I would be given more time to live a so-called normal life. But everything that has happened to me, all the people I have met, and Beyond Concussion have shaped me to be the person I am today, and I wouldn't take it back for anything. I want to be healed. I want to wake up tomorrow and be completely healed, and yet I'm grateful for every millisecond of my life. I'm still here, I'm still fighting, and I know that I'm still strong. We're constantly telling ourselves a story about who we are and where we're going. My story is just a little different now, and I'm proud to say that I'm a survivor. Thank you. I would also like to introduce Dr. Lisa Black, who helped me with therapy back, and she would like to say a few words.